it is without a doubt the biggest crisis that small business owners have ever had in the history of the United States in our lifetime. But we are now seeing that companies are hiring. Good. And they, even though they are doing virtual interviews and virtual hiring, they are coming back.
Say what?
Say what? Say what?
Welcome to Say What, the Energy Ogre podcast, where our specialty is lowering your light bill. But we also offer bite-sized education and financial tips for busy people who want to find overall better solutions to living a brighter life. Welcome to the latest edition of Say What? I'm your host, Laura Thornquist, and today I am honored to introduce our guest, Sue Burnett. She is the president and founder of Burnett Specialists. Of course, we are glad to have you here, Sue. Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
You know, 2020 has, needless to say, been a year to remember, and we've had to lean on your team an awful lot this year to help fill the employee gaps, and we thank you for all your help. You've done amazing work.
Well, we've been thrilled to work with you and to find such great employees. They all love working here.
Well, we love them just as much. So tell me a little bit about how 2020 has been for you and your business.
Well, obviously, as with all people, when we found out in the middle of March that everything was going to shut down, all of our offices shut down for most of April and May. And then because we are an essential business, because we have people that are working in essential companies, we were always open. We were just working from home. But then we've got people that started coming back into the offices in June. Not a lot, but some of the people just, quite frankly, were not feeling that they could work effectively from home with childcare and different problems that they had. So we had the offices, so they've been back. But I mean, our business obviously was severely affected because companies weren't hiring for a few months.
Right.
They had cut back on some of their staffing employees. So it's been a challenge, but I've been in the business now I'm celebrating my 50th year in the staffing business. Wow. And so I've been through all of these ups and downs, and I knew right from the beginning it was going to be bad. And so we made adjustments, and it was painful to make some of those staff adjustments, but we had to do what we had to do to, continue to stay profitable, and we have. But we are now seeing that companies are hiring. Good. And they, even though they are doing virtual interviews and virtual hiring, they are coming back.
That's great to hear.
So it is picking back up again.
That is great to hear. And being, in the industry as many years as you have, you're right. We have our ups and downs, and this is just another one that we had to ride out a little bit. For sure.
Well, this is really the most unique.
The biggest, for sure, the most unique, no question about that. So Burnett Specialists, you've been in operation for more than 45 years. Congratulations to you. That's a big deal. The largest employee-owned staffing and recruiting agency in Texas. So tell me a little bit about how you got started in the industry. Give me your story.
Well, I moved here in 1970 from Arkansas and went to work for Personnel Service on straight commission as a personnel consultant. Knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
Loved it. 6 months after I'd been there, the manager left and I became manager. And then in 1973, I got married, and my husband, on my honeymoon, said, "Why don't you start your own company?" And I was like,
wow.
27, and I really I said, well, I don't have any real desire to do that, but he kept encouraging me.
He believed in you.
He really did, and he has been my mentor and my, supportive person all of my life. And so 8 months after we got married, I quit my job and started my own company. And
wow.
And I've been going ever since. So we just celebrated our 46th anniversary.
Congratulations to you. That's a wonderful story. Talk about, in the staffing industry, I'm going to make an assumption of probably the most rewarding aspect of that is placing people in successful jobs where they're happy. Is that the case?
Absolutely. In fact, just yesterday, we got a wonderful letter from one of our placements saying that we had really changed his life and that what we had done for him and how we had helped him through the job search process had been such a huge help to him. And that is that's why I've always loved my career.
So let's see. What is your advice to small business owners in today's environment?
It is without a doubt the biggest crisis that small business owners have ever had in the history of the United States in our lifetime, other than the Great Depression of the 30s. You just have to figure out, where is that money going to come from, and can you literally stay in business? And
Wow.
so
Wow.
family, friends, anyone that can help you make it through these times, this is the time to need their help.
You have to get quite creative as well.
Yes, you do.
You really do.
Yes, you do. And you have to cut cost.
Yes.
You cannot be in denial. You have to cut cost, and you have to live with just a core of people, even if it gets down to just you.
That's for sure.
You have to somehow make it through.
Good advice. So does your staffing agency guide and train and teach people how to get prepared for these job interviews?
Well, yes, actually. One of the jobs of a recruiter is that we do help the person that is interviewing prepare for the interview. We tell them all about the company and the job, and we prepare them with, these are questions that are going to be asked, and we talk about what they should wear. And what's really been interesting right now is the virtual interviews. We have never, ever in my whole careers had people doing virtual interviews like they are now. So that has been a whole different challenge because, our applicants sometimes really have no idea how to do a virtual interview, and we have to help prepare them for that. In fact, we've got things on our website that talk about how to prepare for a virtual interview. I see on Zoom calls, and I'm sure that this is the same way in interviews, it looks like people are in dungeons. I mean, they are so dark, and and the camera is up here, and they're way down here, and it's just, visually horrible. Yeah. And so you really need to make sure that you could set up a practice little Zoom call with your friend and see how you look on camera before you actually do the interview.
There are a lot of people that are anxiously looking for work right now. What advice would you give them if they're looking for work right now?
Anytime that you're looking for work, you should be using every option available to you.
Okay.
And first of all, of course, I'm in the staffing and placement business. You need to register with people like us in the staffing and placement business. And more than one, multiple.
Really?
I tell people all the time that you need to make sure that you have registered with a lot of different people, because we don't all have the same jobs. And so we may have a job for you this week or this month, but maybe we won't next month if you're a temporary. So you need to make sure that you've got multiple people that are looking for you. And the same thing is true if you're looking for a full-time job. Even though we would love for you to always find your job through Burnett Specialist,
Sure.
I'm always advising people to register with other people.
All right. Well, that's interesting to me. I didn't think like that, but that makes you make a very good point, very valid point.
Well, and the other thing, Laura, is that you want to make sure that you tell literally every person that you've ever known that you're looking for a job. And I will say that my godson, when he was looking for a job after he graduated from college, he called every single one of his family's friends and asked for advice. What can you tell me about the job market? And is there anyone that you know personally that's looking? And he got a job that way through one of his family's friends who said, well, as a matter of fact, I know someone. And so you need to be using all of your family's friends too.
Networking.
Oh,
No
yes,
question about it.
absolutely. Right now, most of your interviews are going to be virtual.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that if you are interviewing virtually, that your computer and the camera on your computer is working, that you tried out, that you've signed up with Zoom, that you know how to do those things, that you pick a background in your home that is going to be a good background, a professional background, that your lighting is good, and you might want to invest in a $30 ring light from Amazon, and make
Good
sure
point.
that the lighting is in front of you and not behind you, and that you put your computer up on some books so that it's at eye level and you're not looking down at the computer, and you need to be at eye level. So there's a lot of things that you can do to make sure that you look better. And then you need to dress professionally. You need to dress as you would if you were going on a personal interview. Even though they might be in jeans and T-shirts, that's not the way that you want to portray yourself. It is always better to dress up than down. Another thing is to practice your interviewing with your family and friends. And so you need to practice with your family or your spouse or boyfriend or whoever, and you need to have them ask you questions and you give the answer just as you would in an interview. You need to know what to say, and you need to practice and rehearse it so that it will come out effortlessly once you are in the interview. One thing that you really want to do is to research the company that you're interviewing with. Look at their website, study their history, study what jobs are available, look at what they do and what their products are, and you should be able to walk into an interview and know about that company. Now, if we're sending you on the interview, we're going to tell you about that company.
Sure.
But if you've got your own interview, then you need to make sure that you've done the research. A lot of people just don't know what is going to be asked,
Right.
and they don't have an answer. And so those are the questions you need to be preparing for. And then also, using a service like ours, we will negotiate the offer for you. A lot of people are terrible negotiators, and they just take the first offer.
And they don't get what they want.
And they don't get what
Yep.
they want, and they are, in fact, it's proven that most women do not negotiate for a higher salary. They just take whatever is offered.
Yeah.
And we will say, you can say to us, oh, I really wanted more money, and we'll go back and say, can't we get more money? And we'll do the negotiating for you. Sometimes we'll see companies who will literally make a low offer, hoping that someone will take it.
And yes.
Okay,
Yep.
and then they do, and so then they're thrilled.
They've won.
But
Yes.
they would have paid more.
What about the recent grads? I know there were a lot, especially graduating during the pandemic. Should they look for only positions inside of their study, fields of study?
No.
Or, okay.
No, in fact, I'll tell you, right now, if
Yeah.
you're a recent college grad, you need to be, first of all, working temporary if you can.
Okay.
Because you're not getting unemployment.
Good point.
You didn't have
Yep.
a job. You need to be registering at staffing companies and working on temporary jobs, because many temporary positions become full-time. And the other thing is that when you are, a young college grad, you need to take any job you can get.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And don't worry about your major right now. You just need to be making money.
Yeah.
And many times you end up doing something you never dreamed you'd do. I went to college. I have a degree in journalism. I never dreamed that I would be in the personnel business.
Right.
And
Right.
so a door may open for you that you never knew about. And I ended up with a career that I didn't even know existed when I was in college.
We never know where our paths are going
That's
to lead. for
exactly
sure.
right.
Sue, I really enjoyed your time. We really appreciate all that you've done for our company. You've given us some amazing employees, so we appreciate everyone.
Well, we're
you brought
just thrilled to
us.
work with you, and we feel that clients like Energy Ogre are the kind that we would love to have a whole lot of.
By the way, we're going to talk a little bit about us. If you'd like to see how we can help you save money, log on to energyogre.com/savings, and there you're going to get a free savings estimate. We're going to tell you if we can save you or not. Now, just special today, if you choose to join, use promo code Burnett to get 1 free month of Energy Ogre service. So make sure to tell your employees
that's
too.
great. I
Okay?
will.
All right. And if you'd like to learn more about Burnett Specialists and what they do, please visit burnettspecialists.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the show and answer any additional questions that you may have. So just please drop them below in the comment section right there. And as always, we'd love to say, be cool, stay kind, and do great things, because it's the Ogre way.